Hello, welcome to the Scale Model Club, and on this week's show... Sherman! Great. Hello, welcome to the Scale Model Club. Well, one Sherman, anyway. So this is Airfix's 176 scale Sherman tank, Mark 1. It's a 176-7 scale, sorry. 176 scale, blimey. It's been a long day. So the back of the box has got your paint on, where to put your decals, colour suggestions. Sides of the box has got your safety stuff, all usual stuff, and then the two ends has got the same picture as the front, which is a nicely drawn picture of a Sherman. Let's get in here and have a look. It's quite an old kit. It's another one part of the Classics range. Got it the same time I bought the Tiger 1. Just did the Tiger 1 first because I'd never done a Tiger before. I have done the Sherman before and it was a bit old, should we say. So here we have the decals, nicely printed as always, and here we have the instructions. I'll tell you, you'd never know this is not scripted, would you? So we have a little bit of information on the front in lots of languages about what the model is and what the Shermans do and how they are. And inside we have more safety instructions and a key to what all the symbols mean. Now the Sherman, by the looks of it, actually has 2 pages of instructions as opposed to 1 from the Tiger. So just because all the wheels are separately that are on bogies, and you have to build the bogie and the wheels properly. On the back we have the second paint job. Obviously they're both olive drab, but one's an American tank and one's for the English tanks. 1 bag of bits, all on the green sprue. Mind your fingers when you cut it open, please, people. My thumb's healing nicely. So let's get rid of that. Oh, hang on. I think I've thrown the thrown the tracks away. They must not have came out of the bag. Here they are, look. Lucky I checked everything. Rubber tracks again. I'm not looking forward to these. They weren't particularly nice on the other one. I'm not quite sure what else you could do. I don't know if you can have link and link tracks on such a small model. I don't know. I've never tried a smaller scale with anybody else's tanks. Got the this is the turret and the upper hull and one of the sides of the hull, nicely moulded. Got quite a lot of detail on the top of here, actually, to be fair. This is the bottom, lower hull, and the other side, or the other fender, should we say. We've got wheels and all the bits to make the bogies. They've got a bit of flash on. It's not too bad. It's not unworkable, put it that way. And this is the other wheels. I had so many problems when I was building this, it was unbelievable. I've cut lots of them out, but I am thinking of actually stringing them all together for a bloopers Christmas reel, because they're just like, I've got wheels flying everywhere. Why is it when you drop something on the carpet monster has it, but when you're looking for it, you find all the bits to the last 2 models you did, but not the bit you're looking for? Because of my big fat fingers. So let's speed up the building a little bit, because we all know how to stick bits of plastic together. Just hold the 2 pieces of plastic together and run your glue down the middle and stick them together, hold them for a couple of seconds, and Bob's your uncle. I did have problems with the wheels fitting on the bogies. and I'll show you what it did, because I'll actually slow it down a little bit, and I'll show you the problems I had with it. So just sanding little bits off the wheels so that they look, you know, where you've cut them off from the screw, so they look like a wheel. The first thing I tried was a bradawl, because what they won't do is they wouldn't go over the spindle on the bogie. So I tried a bradawl just to clear the hole out a little bit. That wouldn't work. Next thing I got myself was a tiny drill bit in a needle vise. It's not going to go in there. I'll have a quick look through the screw just to make sure that I've got the right, because the numbers aren't very clear, so I thought perhaps there might be a wheel with a smaller hole, but no, they're all the same wheel. So I got the needle vise and just widened the hole a tiny bit. And once I did that, it was still tight, but it clicked into place. So from that point on, I had to drill out every single wheel to get every single one fitted on the bogies. So, and you had to do that 6 times, and then we stick those 6 bits on the side of the fenders. The next bit is what I had struggled with, because there's like a little, not like a drive wheel, but it's like a little wheel that helps the tracks run along the top of the bogies to keep the track up in the air. And what every single time I'd cut one off, and that'd go fa-ding, and it was like, oh, and then there's 6 of them to use, and I lost one of them. So the sharp-eyed people in the photos might be able to spot it, but so anyway, I cut them off, sanded them a little, cleaned them up a little, stuck them in place, and spent 3 hours looking for all the bits I lost. Happy days. It's just desperately trying to hold everything that's really small and still take the flash off it, because there is a lot of flash on it, but it is an old kit. It's a shame really that they don't reissue some of these kits with new tooling like the new Spitfires and stuff, because they could do with it, and I think they're a popular. I quite enjoy doing the little tanks. Well, the last 2 I really like doing. So note to airfix: sort your moulds out. We all love a tank. So all the bogies are fitted on all the fenders and the guide wheels, drive wheels, wheel at the back, whatever that does. Ta-da! So next thing is to get hold of the upper hull and a few other bits and glue them all together. Coming together nicely now, so it's a bit difficult to hold everything together and keep it in place because nothing really fits and everything's not quite the right shape and it's all slightly old, but it did eventually go together quite nicely. Stick the bottom on there. I think we find that's the top half done, bottom half done. Bit of a tidy up. Oh no, we'll just turn the instructions the right way up. So next thing's turret. So it's going to be a machine gun, the cupola, commander cupola, the heavy gun, and that's about done on the turret. It's not many pieces at all. So that's the bottom half done. All the little driver and a machine gunner windows fitted. The cupola done. Turret done. So now we'll just stick the turret onto some blue tack. So I've got something to hold when I start painting it. Now we're painting it in a matte black to start with. This will be our shadow coat, same as the tiger almost. That's the Vallejo black, and that is my last black, so I'm hoping my little paint delivery turns up before we have to start the next model, although we'll have to start the next model without black. This is Vallejo white, just to create the shady, light shaded areas, sort of the top of the tank, top of the hull. Now I'll slow this one down so you can see how it sort of actually looks. It's a little bit delicate on it's a bit like panel lines on an aircraft. So you paint all the top surfaces in that white and all the flat surfaces, leaving the dark edges. Got a new set to play with on this one. I don't do the weathering on this because I'm going to save that for perhaps the diorama. But I will do you will see it. But I did buy a nice streaking grime and muddy earth to go all over it. Should start reviewing some of these paint kits I get, really, shouldn't I? I hope everyone's safe, everyone's staying indoors, and thanks everyone for watching my videos. Make sure you like and subscribe, push the notification button. So that's the shadow coat done. Like you can see, the lighter areas are lighter and the little bits in between that are darker, giving you the shadow. This is MiG Ammo's olive drab. I'm going to paint the whole thing in olive drab, but you just put a sort of a light coat over it so that you can still see the shadowy coat. We'll speed this up, I think. Better just check now I said that. There we go. And cover the whole thing in olive drab. Do the turret first. Just a quick blow over. And do the body. My system of blue tack and paint didn't go very well with that one, so I think I ended up just holding it in the two places that you weren't going to paint. I very rarely paint the bottom of a tank because you're never going to see it unless you're going to do I've broken my tank diorama. I might start doing I've broken my tracks diorama, the amount of aggravation it takes me to glue them on. So now I've covered it in a gloss primer, which is X22 Tamiya's Clear. I'm liking it a lot. I like it a lot. Give that, a day to dry. Good day to dry. I'm just going to stick one decal on because we all know about how we stick decals on by now. If not, I might do a separate video of how to do a decal and post that in the old description on the screen. Not that technically minded yet. Anywho, so that is warm water. Cut your decal off the sheet. It's as close to the decal as you can get. Dip it in the water. You want to put it in there for about 10 or 15 seconds. I didn't put mine in there for so long because they're smaller decal. The bigger the decal tend to be, the longer you need to leave it in the water. Then once it's ready to move about like that, you just slide it off the paper onto the model. Now if you're going to use a bigger decal, or you wanted that decal to move, you want to put a piece of decal like Mark Fit on there, like a decal softener, and then you put the decal onto it and you can move the decal about. Once you get it in the place you want it, dab it with a cotton bud and it will sit down nicely. Yeah, bit of Mark Fit strong on there first, and then now the decals are ready to slide around. We just slide them onto the back. Those two were tiny decals. I chose the English tank to do. just carry on with the rest of them. Cut a little piece off, dip it in the water, slide it off, and there you go. So these are the rubber tracks I hate so much, and this is Dark Iron by Tamiya. It's quite nice. It's a bit like gunmetal, but it's got like a reddy tinge to it. So it gives it that sort of a little rusty feeling. So I paint them both with this. Did it by hand because they're only tiny little tracks, and I couldn't be bothered to get my airbrush out. So that's those done, and then over the top of that I'm just going to dry brush them in silver. It's just this flat aluminium silver colour. Give it a mix, a little bit on your brush, then you wipe most of it off onto the paper towel when I finish mugging about with the pot. So dip your brush in it, and then wipe most of it off on the towel. I start on the back of the tracks just to make sure I haven't got too much paint on the brush, and then you just lightly wash the brush up and down, and you'll find all the silver sticks to the higher areas and the lower areas still stay black. It gives it a nice sort of metally shiny look. It's just quite hard work to get rubber to look like cast iron. Right, so that's the tracks and everything on all the decals. I've given it another coat of clear primer to seal the decals in this time. And now I'm going to put that wash on from Mig Ammo. I think that's that Mig Ammo, is that AK? No, it's Mig Ammo. And that is obviously, as you see, dark wash for green vehicles. So cover the whole vehicle in. I left this at normal speed so we can all see what's going on, because these kind of things really stumped me when I was modelling. They still stump me a little bit, but so you just liberally cover the whole thing in the wash. Make sure it goes in all the nooks and crannies. The gloss coat should help you be able to move it around. And once you've got the whole vehicle covered, you need to give that, I only gave it a couple of minutes, so 10-15 minutes, just to let it start to stick, and then you can just give it a wipe over the cotton bud, just slightly, just to get it, and you wipe all the flat areas so that you leave the dark paint in all the crevices. Liberally chuck it all over the wheels. This is an enamel wash, so you will have to wash, or I would have to wash my brush in some white spirit. So once that's done, we then get our cotton bud and just wipe off all the places that are flat, so that you create yourself another shadow. And we're pretty much there after watching me do this. So thanks for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing. Come back for another video on how to make a base for it, because I will try and make a base for them. It just depends if I can get the modelling equipment done. So there we are, it's dry now. Still a little bit shiny, so I might give it a buff over. So there we have our Sherman and Tiger. I think you know where we're all going for the diorama bit to put them on. Can't wait. Laters.
Oh man, don't hit me with them negative waves so early in the morning.